Thank you for having me here again. I welcome you all with great love. And it's said the highest form of love is to see the divinity not only in ourselves, but to see it within others and all of creation. So I'm going to start this talk by explaining the creation of the world or the universe by Shiva and Shakti according to Shaivism. So that's a branch of Hinduism. I'm also choosing this in light that not only is it almost Valentine's Day and that it's about love, but because we were also created in love. I'd like to say that I honor and respect whatever you believe in, and just remember that what I'm really attempting to talk about here is an energy source, or whatever you like to call it, that created our world or our universe. The hows and the whys may differ in different paths, and you personally may have a completely different belief. I think whatever you resonate with that expands your heart and makes you feel connected is what's most important. After all, everyone has their own unique path to knowing themselves and knowing their own divinities. So in some beliefs, Shiva and Shakti are considered to be eternal and have always existed together. And really, ultimately, it's of one energy working together. And in other beliefs, it's said that their union was formed after a series of events and trials. So nevertheless, the stories that are told through different religions and traditions actually reflect our journey in life and life lessons. And there's some absolutely amazing stories that you can read that reflect our life journey. The story of Shiva and Shakti represents our journey to knowing ourselves and remembering our union. So the world was created through the divine cosmic dance of Shiva and Shakti, and is seen as a result of the divine love and divine union of these two aspects of consciousness, or whatever you like to call it. Their union is said to be the source of all creation and the sustenance of the universe. They represent the dynamic and static aspects of the universe. Shiva represents the unchanging, transcendent reality, while Shakti represents the changing, immanent energy that manifests in the world. And of course, we were created through this, so we are this. So we also contain these energies within us. So we too are the self, unchanging at a level, and yet we also create and manifest in this world. Let's see here. So we were created through this divine dance and play. Our individual selves are seen as playing a role in the universe through our experiences, thoughts, and actions, and are said to be constantly evolving towards realizing our true nature as part of the ultimate reality. So the path to realizing the divine in all things involves developing a deep understanding of our nature of reality and one's own self as being intimately connected with a divine essence. There's something I read the other day and I really liked a snippet of it, and I'd like to share it with you. And that is, yet in the deepest essence, at the crossroads where the scientist and the mystic gaze at each other in absolute surprise, we find nothing but vibration. By recognizing the underlying unity and divinity in all things, one can experience the world with a sense of reverence, awe, and devotion. So I was hoping to do just a couple of different practices throughout this talk if I've got the time. And I'd like to do one now before I go in and talk about more practices. And part of something that I like to practice is remembering everything as an extension of consciousness or a divine. Everything I'm doing, everything I'm touching is part of that. And if ultimately we're all vibration and consciousness, then so are all the things we're experiencing in the world. So I'll just invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just becoming aware of your body. And just saying to yourself, my body is consciousness or divine. And feeling your body sitting on the chair and saying, the chair is an extension of my body. The chair is divine and consciousness. And the chair that's sitting on the floor that seems to be a solid object is also consciousness. And then bringing your awareness to everyone in this room, acknowledging they too are consciousness, an extension of me. I am you and you are me. Bringing your awareness throughout the whole room, expanding that awareness, embracing all that is as divine in consciousness. And then bringing your awareness back to your body. Feeling your feet on the floor and gently opening your eyes. Just take note of what your experience was. So what are some other practices we can do? So there are several practices, and I'll share a few with you that may be beneficial for you. And, by regularly engaging in practices, we can deepen our connection to the divine experience and the world with a sense of reverence. So meditation. So it helps us to cultivate an awareness of the divine presence within and around us. It helps us to bring in our focus within ourselves. And there is the meditation where you can sit in silence. There is moving meditation. You can do that through dance even. You can do that through walking. It's about focusing and remembering. I know that for me, it's taken many years to go from, I couldn't even sit for 5 minutes, and now I can sit for an hour and a half. But it took years because you have to keep at it and you have to allow yourself to go deeper into it. And as you do, as you gain more awareness of yourself, you gain more awareness, your whole perception starts to change. You become aware of your own tendencies and things like that. It's quite amazing. With awareness, we can make the changes. So there's devotion, and the path of devotion in yoga, a path to love, is bhakti. So having love for the divine, having love for all things. Now, it does involve surrendering one's ego. Now, I just would like to say, my first yoga teacher used to say that the ego needs to be refined. We don't need to annihilate it. It's healthy to have some ego. It becomes unhealthy when there's a real self of self-importance and arrogance, and we see that playing out in our world now. And we need to come back to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our connection to our hearts. Surrender can be a difficult word to grasp, but how I try to see it is that it's not about surrendering to a person. It's about surrendering the thing that holds you back from being able to experience more love and connection to all that is. So sometimes, we have tendencies that are self-destructive. Instead of moving towards expanding our hearts, we'll go the other way. And so they're the kinds of things we want to look at. Is it expanding your heart? Does it make you feel more connected? Or do you feel more isolated? I'm not sure if that was the right word to use, but so devotion. So that also involves offering love and devotion to the divine in all things that you do. You bring to what you do. You bring your spirituality to what you do in your everyday life, into your work, into your thoughts, into your actions. You offer it to the divine. And we can do it through chanting, prayer, or singing devotional hymns. There's self-reflection, the introspection are important practices. It helps us to gain insight into our true nature and understanding our connection to the divine. Selfless service, which we call karma yoga, is a path of action and service which involves performing actions selflessly and dedicating them to the divine. And when we do this, this helps us to develop humility, compassion, and detachment from the fruits of our actions. Connecting with nature, this is a big one. Nature is seen as a source of wisdom and a teacher that can help us better understand our own spiritual nature and our place in the world. According to this philosophy, nature is seen as a manifestation of the divine and a reflection of the divine energy. By connecting with nature and embracing its teachings, it's believed that we can develop a deeper understanding of our own spiritual nature and can lead us to greater sense of meaning and fulfillment. So by observing and experiencing nature, we learn valuable lessons about life and our own spirituality. For example, we can learn about the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that is evident in the changing of the seasons and the way that all living things are connected and interdependent. In addition, nature can also teach us about the importance of stillness and contemplation. For instance, observing the stillness of a mountain or the calmness of a lake can help us cultivate a sense of inner peace and stillness, which is essential for spiritual growth and self-discovery. And it's not snowing now, but interacting in nature, getting out playing in the snow. When spring comes, we go out kayaking, we jump in the river, and we're really taking in nature, and we climb trees, and it's just so beautiful. Today the sun's shining. I mean, I stood out there and I could feel the rays like going into me and just feeling that connection. The beauty of this lily, when whoever it was that brought this out, straight away I was sitting there and I could smell it, and it just put me in ecstasy. And I thought, this is just so beautiful. That smells so beautiful. And I started to look at the lily and the color and the design, and I just think, isn't that beautiful how nature orchestrated this? These beautiful flowers, nature, us. We are nature. So there is another practice that I think is crucial for our spiritual development, and that is part of our daily life. So there are practices we do in front of an altar or on the yoga mat, but these practices go beyond that, and we just are always doing it with awareness. The other practices, they help us to bring our awareness, and then we've got to really live it out in life. And so that is our relationships with others and also ourselves. Now, not everyone's in a position to where they can go and live in a cage. You don't want to live in a cage, do you? Some might. I meant a cave, or go live in a mountain somewhere. Please don't live in a cage, unless that's what really floats your boat. Well, who am I to judge and tell you what to do with that? So, most of us, we've got to live in the world, we've got to engage in the world, we've got to work and earn money, and then you think, well, that's not being spiritual, but it is, because you're going to bring the spirituality to it, you're going to bring your awareness to it. So, now relationships play a significant role in helping us grow and reach our spiritual potential. Relationships with others can provide opportunities for us to practice qualities such as love, compassion, selflessness, and understanding. Additionally, relationships can serve as mirrors that reflect our own inner nature, revealing areas for growth and self-improvement. By examining our interactions with others and learning from them, we can gain greater insight into our own attitudes, tendencies, patterns, and behaviour. Now, also, there are times where you do need to retreat. You do need to take that time out. You need to learn, like we've got to follow that. And it's like, okay, you know, I need to retreat in for a week or two, go somewhere and recharge yourselves. Only you will know when you need to do that. Now, with that being said, you know, accepting ourselves, so accepting all of ourselves as part of the process towards union with the divine means embracing all aspects of our being, including our strengths and our weaknesses, our experiences and emotions, and our thoughts and beliefs as a path towards a deeper connection with a higher power. And this can involve letting go of negative self-perceptions and embracing self-love and compassion. And also accepting our humanness as being spiritual. And that means recognizing that our spiritual nature is an integral part of our humanity. And this can involve acknowledging that we are more than just our physical bodies and that there is a spiritual aspect. The ultimate goal is to experience our relationship with all of creation as an expression of the divine, to see the divine presence in all beings and all of creation. And this leads to a profound sense of love and interconnectedness with all things and helps us to cultivate a more peaceful, harmonious, and loving relationship with the world. I'd like to say, like, sometimes, you know, you may be in a relationship or with a group of people or whatever, and you know that you need to leave it. That's part of that journey too. So it doesn't mean that you've got to stay in something. You also got to know when enough is enough for you. You learn to set your boundaries too, that healthy boundaries, to know that something is harming you, it's hurtful, and that that's an important thing to remember too. I think I do have a guided meditation on love, if we've got time to do it. Yeah, so that brings me, okay, so that brings me to the end of the talking part, and I have a little guided meditation if you'd like to participate. So closing your eyes and taking a couple of nice deep breaths, inhaling slowly and exhaling even slower. Imagine a warm golden light surrounding you. Filling you with love and positivity. Bring to mind someone or something that you love deeply, and feel the love and gratitude in your heart grow. Now imagine sending this love outwards, surrounding others with this same warm and positive energy. And repeat to yourself, I am love. I am loved. And hold this loving energy within you, savoring the feeling of love. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes, feeling refreshed and filled with love. That's the end.